Wind Down with the Waibels. I'm Kate.
And I'm Bryson.
Welcome to episode 2. We're going to recap our week, which includes a little bit of a Sunday night surprise, including a surgery, some solo parenting, some firsts for our kiddos, and a tea party she bought.
May I go put my jacket away?
We've been expecting me to need to have surgery on my nose for the last few months, and we needed the insurance to prior authorize all of the procedure codes, and the last couple weeks we were just not sure that all the approvals were going to get through before the surgery was supposed to happen this last week. We were pretty sure that we were just going to have to push the surgery out a little bit, and I'd been checking our app all weekend last weekend to see if the claim or the prior authorization would go through, and at 9 o'clock on Sunday night I checked it and it had gotten approved. So we had not prepared ourselves at all for me to be gone for a couple of days, and Kate was supposed to go with me to the surgery, obviously to be there. So we hadn't prepared any of our family to be with us or to help us. So at 9 o'clock on Sunday night, we were both in a pretty weird mood just because we didn't know what to do. We figured it out though.
Bryson's mom was willing to come up bright and early the next morning and take off to Minnesota, something she was not expecting to do. So it was very nice. And then I was able to still take care of the kids and do their kind of weekly routine because we had not prepared them for, well, they didn't even know Dad was going to have a surgery. So that was a little bit alarming to our 6-year-old when he woke up. The dad was off to go get his nose worked on.
Yes, I was able to tell them goodbye before I left, but we left early before they typically would wake up. So I had to leave them and go to my appointment and then have my surgery on Tuesday. And thankfully everything went well. They cleaned out my sinuses, and you can probably tell that I'm not, I sound a little bit clogged up. Within the next couple of weeks, that will be cleared up, and I will be able to breathe like a normal human.
What was your surgery called? I don't really know.
There were a lot of different procedures they did, but like a sinuplasty, and then they fixed a deviated septum, and they ran into a lot of issues in the surgery, and so it was more challenging than they thought it was going to be.
It wasn't issues. It was just polyps. A lot of polyps.
Yeah.
But
things that they weren't expecting to have to take out. I had the surgery on a Tuesday, this past Tuesday. I was discharged at 5 o'clock, and my mom was a champ and drove us all the way home, 6.5 hours to Kansas City.
You did get home till about midnight.
Yeah, but instantly, I was in some pain, but I could tell that my eyes were functioning better. I guess the surgeon said that the polyps were pushing on both of my eyes, and so it was causing some pressure. My face didn't feel swollen anymore, even though I just had a lot of surgery trauma that had just happened. It felt a lot less swollen. My eyes were more responsive. My nose looks like it's straight now, I think. A little bit straighter, which I don't really care about, but if it helps me breathe better, then I think that's awesome. And glory to God for a successful surgery. Recovery has not been the easiest, especially not for Kate this week, because I've just not been as 100% as I could be.
I would say that parenting while Bryson and his mom were away at Mayo was easier than parenting when he got home, because it was expected. I knew I would have to do all of it basically, and the kids were really well behaved. When Bryson came home, there was a light switch that went off, and they decided that they were going to start throwing temper tantrums again. Bryson couldn't bend down. Bryson couldn't lift anything over 15 pounds, which means can't lift both of our kids. And really you're just tired. So a lot of heavy lifting that I guess I should have expected, but we didn't. I don't think either of us thought that the recovery was going to be as extensive as it has been. Or that the surgery was even as big a surgery as it ended up being. But in saying that, we do our weekly cleaning on Fridays because we celebrate Shabbat on Saturdays, so we try to have everything out of the way. And so Bryson normally mops. This week, Augie stepped in to help us out a little bit. And honestly, he'd been doing that the whole week. Like, he was making his bed effortlessly, helping with Eloise, and then he decided that he really likes mopping.
I think this is good right here.
You're doing a great job.
I'm blasting it out in there. Here.
Blasting it out there.
This is a new portion to get it.
Pretty good. Not too bad, not too bad.
Okay, Daddy. Once I get to here, will I need like more?
Probably. Well, I had kind of told him when I got back that he would need to be the man of the house a little bit and take on some more responsibilities. And so as we're trying to figure out how to help him become a man, I think these are good opportunities for him to learn a little bit about what that means for him and how we can set up a framework for him to become a man. And so that was a really good opportunity this week to see him step up, be excited about having an opportunity to be the man of the house, is what I told him, and to really help out in different ways that he typically does.
So other first for the week, Eloise had her first soccer practice game playing. She's 3, so super cute to see Eloise at her first soccer practice. Lots of the other kids needed their parents out there holding their hands or kind of directing them through the drills, and it might have been because we forgot Eloise's glasses and she couldn't see us to find us, or it could have just been that she was extra confident and didn't need us right beside her. But no tears, no complaints. She was just having fun.
Right back here, buddy.
Big kick, Lolo. Good job, Lolo. Good job. Go to the line. It's really interesting to see the second child because she has been exposed to a lot more than Augie was as our first. So she has a lot less of a filter when it comes to getting into those situations and being a little bit uncomfortable, not needing us as much, being more independent, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
And then after Eloise's soccer practice, we had Augie's second game of the spring season, where he finally, he scored goals in the fall season, but this one was the first time that he really took initiative to drive the ball all the way down the field and score his first goal. So that was exciting to watch. We did not get video of it.
We have still a lot of opportunity to grow in his ability to just really compete, because he is more of that first kid where he is reserved and he holds himself back
everything.
Yeah.
We have to tell him to turn off his brain and just go. And he's still really fighting through that process of thinking through it or just acting off muscle memory.
Good job, guys. Woo! Good teamwork. Great job.
Yeah, for sure. And then last night we capped it off with something that Kate thought of with Eloise in mind, which was really fun and kind of last minute. I think you just thought of it last weekend, but
Eloise is really into princesses and tea parties and little girly things, and I really wanted to feed into that because it's such a short period of time that she's likely going to be in this phase. So I think we talked about Shabbat, but basically we tried to do a period of rest. It's never really that restful for us yet because we're still learning. But on Saturdays, where we just spend time as a family and, play games and have a dinner of some sort. Sometimes that's eating out. Sometimes it's a theme, which is what we did this week with the tea party. Or sometimes it's just a nice meal. But we did a tea party Shabbat. So Bryson and I spent most of the day in the kitchen, which is not ideal. Probably should have prepped it the night before. But with Bryson's surgery, there just really wasn't time. So the kids took a nap, or Augie listened to Harry Potter in his room on an audiobook. And we prepped some carrot cake, some chicken salad sandwiches, some little tiny finger grilled cheeses. What else do we have? Oh, those pastry things.
yeah, you made some really awesome pastries and a carrot cake.
And then we invited my mom and sister over, and Owen, to my nephew, to celebrate with us. We also had a few friends that we invited that couldn't come. Eloise has a little friend from preschool. But anyways, my mom and sister showed up in some Hobby Lobby hats and what are those things called?
Scarf, like a
Boa
scarf or
type thing.
like feathery scarf.
Feather scarf. And Owen showed up in his suit, and Augie wore his suit. Eloise wore her pretty princess Cinderella dress, and then the kids each picked out Bryson and my outfit. So it was fun. I think Eloise was a little in shock. Like, I think she really enjoyed it, but she was quiet most of the night. I think that we just went to those extremes to throw this little tea party last minute for her.
Yeah, but spending the time all day doing all the prep helped because then we just really sat down to eat and we enjoyed time together, which is exactly what Shabbat's all about. So she was able to tell everybody where they should be sitting.
Sure. So is it time, then you think it's okay
So
to sit down?
everyone,
Eloise, why don't you
everyone.
tell everyone where they're going to be sitting tonight?
And then you see like that.
I'm over here. What color is her
No,
plate?
not where the red is. Over there
In the
where
middle.
the green is.
Green. Okay, come here.
Yep, she's green.
Okay, what color is Owen?
By my back.
That Owen right
Blue
there?
and green.
Okay, where's Aunt Hannah?
Your green, also black.
And the boys acted like kind of like the butlers, so they would go get things like silverware or extra food if we needed it. So that was really fun as well to see them just act in a different way and kind of serve
Multiple times throughout
each
the
of us.
night, she told us to call her Queen Eloise.
Yeah.
So that's what she went through. And we had little princess music playing, and then Augie and I danced a little bit, and they played some board games to end out the night.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kate got a migraine yesterday, which is something that she struggles with
Well, luckily it
from time
happened
to time.
near the end of Tea Party Shabbat. So, and I actually just recently saw a neurologist who got me on some migraine medication, which I had a pretty bad episode back in November, which led me to the neurologist. But since getting the medication, like, I do not have to fear migraines near as badly as I had been. It's been such a relief. Within 30 minutes to an hour or two, I am normally back on my feet. I call it a little brain fog because I'm foggy and things just don't work as quickly as they normally do or process for a day or two after a migraine. But it doesn't knock me out as much as it used to, because I used to just really not be able to do work or be a mom at all after a migraine.
Yeah, they typically hit on some really, really bad times, like when
Yeah.
we're all like already stretched thin, because stress is a big, big cause of a migraine, or at least for her it is. So usually when we're already at the end of our rope,
There they
then the
are.
migraine just hits, which in a way it resets us a little bit, because we're like, okay, some of these things don't really matter, so it helps us reset to what matters most. But being able to work through them without having a long period of time for recovery and, you know, being disengaged when we already had me, who was down this week, was really, really, really thankful for the medication and for Kate's ability to kind of push through it and really just get some rest. So last night we didn't do our video, so that's why we're coming to you all today with Wind Down with the Waibels. But that was the reason. So we really all just kind of were able to get to bed and rest.
Yeah. And another, like, my triggers are really stress. Stress is probably the biggest one, but I also have hormonal triggers and the weather. And so yesterday we were going from like highs of 80 and 65 the day before, and then we dropped down to almost freezing temperatures last night, I think. And
Yeah.
so that weather change or that shift, like, mixed with stress and hormones, is just, it's normally always a trigger, unfortunately. But not unbearable now that I have medication.
What was your highlight? What was your favorite thing of the week? What was your highlight?
Favorite thing of the whole week? Well, I got to dance with Augie in the kitchen, and I mean, he kept nagging on me afterwards because he wanted to do it again. But that was really special to be able to just like engage with him in that way. I don't know why, but it felt like a mom and son bonding moment. And then I also have to say, I loved watching Eloise play at soccer. Like, just to see her thrive in that environment and to be so confident. I mean, she was a little reserved, but like, I mean, that was her first time ever, and she just loved soccer, so it was fun to watch. What was yours?
Yeah, I think mine was, so I was able to make it home, like I said, Tuesday night, and then got to see the kids early on Wednesday morning. That they were a little bit weird about it, but they like missed me, they miss me not being in the house. And so one thing that Kate had shared with me was just that because we get to work from home and be with our kids a lot, like the relationship that I have with them as a dad, which, you know, traditionally dads are the ones that are going to be out of the house for the majority of the day, working or providing for their family. And we get an awesome opportunity to both provide financially, but then also both pour into them. So Kate being here by herself is not normal for them. So me coming back into the house was I think they were relieved that I was back, and like I could just tell that they not, and maybe that's why they act a little bit differently, obviously, maybe a little bit worse.
They were, well, when you got back, but I think they really find comfort in you being here in the house. Like Augie was a little bit scared to go to sleep without dad at home, or, I mean, it was just, they look to you in a way that I kind of envy, that father-kid relationship, because it is so close-knit. Like, I'm still a default parent probably as a mom, and I like get to kiss the boo-boos and hug them when they don't feel well, but as long as they feel fine and don't have boo-boos, honestly, they probably prefer you.
That was encouraging just because every day's a grind for both of us, and you don't always get to recognize those moments. We take them for granted because we don't see the bigger picture or the story that we're trying to build with our family. So it was nice to see, and also just be appreciated because I wasn't part of the unit for a few hours, you know.
It was like not even 2 days. Other things, I noticed that you've been videoing me get my coffee every day, and that did not happen while he was gone. So.
Oh, you didn't get your coffee?
No, I didn't get any coffee. I thought about going out to buy some one day, but it didn't.
I'm the coffee maker in our house, so.
Augie knows how to make coffee too.
Yeah.
I could figure it out, but it wouldn't taste as good if you had to make the coffee for yourself.
Good morning. Oh, you don't want your coffee today? All right, yeah, thanks everybody for joining us for episode 2. We will see you again next week, and thank you for being with us during this time.
Thanks everyone.
Bye everyone.
Talk to you next week.